If you're anything like me, you will have too many remotes around the house. Just in my front room alone, I have around 5. So when Sofabaton offered to send out the X2 for me to take a look at, I was quite interested because this is a universal remote that claims to be able to control pretty much anything in your house. So you can get rid of all of those remotes and just have one remote to rule them all. I've been using it for about 2 weeks, so let's take a look at it. When I first took the remote out the box, I was straight away kind of impressed with the build quality. This thing feels very premium. It's made of metal. It has a sort of textured plastic on the back, which looks like a false leather. It's got a 2.4-inch touchscreen on the front. You've got backlit buttons. It's weighty. Everything about it in terms of looks and feel is very, very good and feels like a premium product. It also comes with a magnetic charging dock, which is obviously for charging, but I've found myself putting the remote back in the dock when I'm not using it. And this has led to me not losing the remote because I always know where it's going to be. However, it does look a little bit like a house phone, and a few people have commented, why have you got a house phone on your side? But it's actually the remote. You also get the Sofabaton hub, and this supports IR, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and RF. So if you've got an AV receiver that you control with an IR remote, and you've got an Apple TV that you control using a Bluetooth remote, everything can be programmed into the hub and the remote. So this can speak all languages around your house in terms of how different remotes transmit their signals. The hub also comes with IR extenders. Now I know a lot of people keep their sort of set-top box or their AV receivers in a cupboard or behind an object. So with the IR extender, you can connect this to the hub, connect it to your device, and you'll still be able to control it even though it's not in line of sight. You can also buy the R1 IR repeater, and what this allows you to do is extend that infrared range. So if you want to control devices in other rooms from the comfort of your living room sofa, you can do so with this. The way it works, it receives RF signals from your Sofabaton hub through walls and then translates them into IR commands. So really useful if you do have multiple devices around the house that you want to control with one remote. Pairing devices with the remote is straightforward. You just need to download the Sofabaton app, go in and click add device, and then you can choose what kind of signal you want to do. So for example, if you're doing a TV remote, I've got an LG C4, which uses an IR remote. You click infrared, and then you can search the database or you can learn. We'll come to learning in a second, but if we search the database, you can search for the model of your TV or whatever device you're looking for. So I've gone for LG. And then I'm going to type in C4. Now you need the exact model. You can see that they've got the 42-inch, the 48-inch, and there's different models of the 48-inch. This is usually found on the back of your TV. So it does have to be the exact model. Once you've found it, you click it. It will then list all the buttons that it will assign to the Sofabaton X2 remote. So for example, you've got power on, power off, you've got navigate up, okay, back, and you can test this. So if you click test, it basically sends a signal from your phone to the hub, and you will see it happen on the TV. So if I was to click test volume up, the TV's volume should turn up. You then click next and you're into your IR emitter settings. And for the most part, you're going to be selecting hub and hub body. And this is basically what the remote is sending the signal to. My hub is in my front room. Everything is within range. The hub is on the TV cabinet. So this works absolutely fine. If you select remote, it will work more like the traditional remote, as in you actually have to point the remote at the device for it to turn on. But as I say, for most people, you're going to be selecting that hub. You then go in and name the device, choose a symbol, click complete, and that is you done. Your Sofabaton is now ready to control your TV. Once the device is set up, you can go into the device settings, and for example, with a TV, you might have a power button that turns the TV on and turns the TV off. So it just gets you to confirm how the power button works. And also, if you need to switch inputs on the device, there is a setting here that you just need to go in and make sure that that is assigned correctly. So for example, your remote might have input 1, 2, 3, and 4, or it might just be a single input button that you press over and over and it goes through. Just make sure that that all matches up if nothing is working correctly. You can also go in and tweak the buttons. So if you've downloaded the settings from the database, and Sofabaton claim to have 500,000 devices on their database. Some of them are users submitted. So if something's not working how you want it to, you can go in and customize the buttons. So for example, you don't want the back button to go back, you want it to do something else, you can do that. If you want to add a device that isn't in the library, so for example, I've got an audio amplifier that wasn't on their library, you can just go in, you can click add device. This is an infrared one, you click learning. and I clicked audio. Does it have separate power keys or just one power key? It only has a power key. And then you've got all these Sofabaton buttons with to learn next to it. So for example, if you want to, the remote to learn what volume up is, you click to learn, you take the original remote over to the hub and press the volume up button, and it will store that command so that on the Sofabaton remote, you press the volume up button and it will do that command. So you can go in and set up absolutely any device, even if it's not in that library. So like I mentioned, I've got a sunset lamp in here that was just like a cheap Amazon thing. I can now control that, and I did it like this. I just learnt the commands. A couple of amps around the house that weren't on here, I've managed to now get set up and assign keys to them. You can then obviously go in, give it a name, give it a symbol, and it's set up to control from the Sofabaton. You can also control Wi-Fi devices, so things like Sonos, or if you've got Hue lights or Govee lights around the house. I did have a go. I paired this with my Hue hub, and I could control some of my Hue bulbs. I just prefer to use the Hue app for all of this and set up shortcuts and things like that on my phone, but you can do it with the remote if you wish to. It also integrates with Google Home and Alexa, and those with more advanced setup, it is compatible with Home Assistant. Now, I don't have a Home Assistant set up in my house, so it's not something I have tested. There are a couple of guides online sort of talking you through how to do this and how it works. It seems to be a positive experience, but just bear in mind, this can be a kind of control your whole home using Home Assistant if you want it to be. Using the remote itself is very straightforward. It's mostly done through this touch screen here. So you click devices, whichever device is selected is the one you are currently controlling. So at the moment it's controlling my LG C4. If I click Apple, it's now an Apple TV remote. You can then go into it further if you want, and you've got some buttons on the screen. But for the most part, all I do is, if I want to control Apple, make sure Apple's selected. And now all the buttons here are all the ones that I programmed from the Apple TV remote. You've also got activities, and this is where I think the remote really shines. And to be honest, this is 90% of how I use this remote. You can set up activities within the Sofabaton app, and what it allows you to do is basically turn on multiple devices at once. So for example, if I swipe watch Apple TV, my TV turns on, my Apple TV turns on, the TV changes input to the correct input for the Apple TV, and the remote itself is now an Apple TV remote. If I was to swipe, watch Sky Q, the TV input will switch to the Sky box, and this remote now controls the Sky box. That's all done through the app. For the most part, it works absolutely fine. Sometimes you have to go in and tweak like delays and the order of things that happen. So for example, if your input isn't switching properly because the power of the device turns on before the input switched, just go in and play about with these. But I've found, most of the time I haven't needed to do that, but just bear in mind, you might have to go into some of the settings to get that to work correctly. Once they're set up, they are super easy to use. Even my 5-year-old knows to just pick this remote up now and swipe the Apple TV symbol, and Apple TV will come on the TV and she can control it with the up, down, left and right like she would with the Apple TV remote. There's also a physical off button at the top that when you hold that, it will power down your devices. So at the end of the evening, if you finish watching TV again, you're not looking for remotes, just hold that, everything switches off. Not everything's perfect, so a couple of little niggles that I've come across. The first one is the lack of a microphone in this remote, meaning you can't, do voice control. With the Apple TV, whenever I'm searching for something, I use the voice control and just speak into the remote. It saves a lot of time. You can't do it with this. It has been something I'm slowly getting used to, but I do keep the Apple TV remote within reach when I'm searching for stuff. Sofabaton claim the remote will last 30 days on a full charge. I found it to be a little bit less than this actually. I'm getting about a week or so out of everyday use out of it. That's if I'm not putting it in the dock. If you're putting it in the dock every time you finish it, you never need to worry about it being charged. But just obviously bear in mind, because most TV remotes and things like that, you barely ever need to change the batteries. This obviously does a lot more, so you do need to keep it charged. And then there's the price. This thing is not cheap. It retails for just over £300 here in the UK, and it's about $300 in the US. That is not cheap for a universal remote. However, it does feel very premium. It does all the things that it sets out to do, and it does them very well. So I think it would be weighing up whether you think getting rid of all your remotes so you just have one remote that can control everything is worth that sort of money. I am conscious that they sent this out to me to test, so I didn't actually have to shell out that initial £330. Have I replaced all my remotes with it? Am I using it? Am I loving it? Yes. Is it worth £330? I don't know. That's a question you would need to ask yourself. It feels premium, does everything that it sets out to do, but it is expensive. So overall, I am very impressed with the Sofabaton X2. I love the ability to be able to just pick up one remote, scroll through the devices, turn on my audio amp, control a couple of lights, use those activities to just swipe and everything turns on and the remote is set up and good to go. A few minor niggles, like I mentioned, the lack of the microphone in it, it has been annoying because it's something I use quite often. The price is quite high, but as a universal remote that looks and feels very premium and controls everything like it claims to and has been working, pretty flawlessly. I haven't come across any issues other than having to go in and tweak a few settings just based on how the devices work. Overall, very impressed. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I will put details to this in the description with any discounts that I have available. But as always, thank you for watching and I will catch you in the next video.